Yo, what's up everybody, Tweets here, and in this video I'm going to show you guys how to make your own custom greenhouses. So it's going to be pretty much a combination of my container with kit item, an openable container with a kit tutorial, and my custom building / house tutorial. So it's going to be a combination of that. Now, like always, you create your folder in your P drive, you get your structure set up how you want it. You got a folder for your kit, folder for your greenhouse itself, and then convert your textures and make your RV mats. I'm not going to go over all of that because I've shown how to do RV mats and textures in a few of my tutorials. And I also have a tutorial on how to make glass. So you are going to need glass for greenhouses, obviously, so you can see through them. That's pretty much it. You get your textures and your RV mat set over, and then all the fun begins. So then you're going to import your model into Bulldozer. Now, first thing I always like to do is I apply my textures. So go set up your model with whatever hidden selections you need for textures. I've shown how to do this numerous times. If you need a refresh, I got a playlist on my channel, just DayZ mod tutorials, or in my Discord, I have all my tutorials in a channel called All My Tutorials. But you get all your textures, your RV mats applied. Now, once you have all that done, start up Bulldozer. Okay, now that we have Bulldozer up, and we see that our textures and RV mats are applied, now we're going to go back to Object Builder. Now, the fun part. What you could do, if you want to size it, I've shown you guys how to size it before, but I'll just quickly refresh your memories. You just create a proxy and find something in the vanilla files. So in your P drive, go to DayZ, structures, maybe residential. I'm just going with sheds. Create the proxy of the shed. So just click on one of them, hit open, then hit OK, and then it'll make a proxy, and then you'll be able to see it. So there's a shed, and then you just size it so it's about the same size, close enough. But now to size it, you just select your whole model except for the proxy that you just brought in. So you don't want the proxy selected, just the model. So it's usually better just to hit your selections that you made while texturing, and then that'll select just your model. And then you hold the left control, left shift, and hold right click on your mouse and drag up or down, and that'll change the size. And then that's pretty much it. And then when you're done sizing it, go to that proxy you brought in, click on it, hit delete on your keyboard, right click, and delete. That's that. Now, once it's sized, you got it in place where you want it, but you want it on the center cross. So you want the bottom of your greenhouse to line up with that darker middle line on the grid here. And you want it kind of centered. So that darker middle line, that is the ground level in game. Once you have it there, you got your textures applied, you got it sized, then we start with all the other fun stuff. So just like in the house tutorial, you start with doors. So we got 2 doors, so you want to select just the doors. Once you get just your door, one door at a time selected, which I already did. Once you get it selected, you create your selection here and call it door 1. If you have 1 door, just call it door. 2 doors, door 1. And then do the same for the other door. Make sure you're also selecting the handles, door handles. And then you're going to do the same thing for door 2. You're going to have your door selected, So just select just the doors and the handle, and then create a new, call it door 2. That's that. Now, once you have that done, now you can test it, but first you want to save your P3D. Call it something like well, I call it sample greenhouse. You call it whatever you want, and you're gonna save that in your data folder with all your textures like this. And then you're gonna create your model config, which is a basic, like, it's got skeleton bones because you're gonna need all these selections here for seed base, slot covered, slot, your door 1, door 2. And then below, you're going to need all these selections. So it's door 1, door 1 axis. So it's a lot like the house 1, potential axis. All these, it's pretty much reading all your selections that's in your geometry and your main lods. It's reading that, and then you got your animation set up for your doors. I've shown how to do this stuff before, so I'm not going to go in depth, but you want to get your doors animated. Like I have it here. You're going to have the folder. I'm going to have it in the video like all my others. And you can download this folder from the video to work with. But since it's got 2 doors, you want them both to open at the same time. So when you have your door 1 set up with your door 1 source, the selection, and then your door 1 axis, which I'm going to show you guys how to set up here in your memory LOD, which we've done this numerous times, but you just make your points by clicking insert on your keyboard, and then you align it in place, and then get it on the hinge, and then copy it, paste it, and put it on the lower hinge. Make sure they're lined up. Select both of them that you made. Now ignore the ones that I've already had, because I've already got this done. Once you have both your points selected and lined up, you just going to create your selection, new door underscore axis, or door 1 axis. But we've already done that, so we're not doing that now. Okay. And then that whole process, you're going to mirror it on the second door if you have a second door. Now this point here is just door 1 and door 2. It's just a point, and I added it to right on the handles of the model. Once you have your points set up, you're going to save your P3D, go back to your main LOD, go into your model config, and give it those selection names. So axis door 1. Then door 1. Now door 2, you're going to have set with the source of door 1. You're going to tie it in to your first door, so that way they both open at the same time. Now for open and out, I have the angle at a negative for door 1, and then I have the angle one at a positive for door 2. So they both open at the same time in the same direction. Now, once you have that done, save your model config, select your model, go into Bulldozer, and use your mouse wheel to see if the animation's working. And then that's it. If it's working, awesome. Now, you're also going to need in your model config all this here. Seed base 1 all the way through 12, because this has 12 slots to plant in. So they're all going to look like this. So you're going to have your class name, seed base 1, and it's also going to be under the same selection. Type and source, you let hide in user, clamp, and it just this whole thing. So what you can do here is just copy it from mine and paste it into yours, because it's going to be the same names. But you're going to have seed base all the way to 12. Then you're going to have slot covered underscore 01 all the way to 12. So once you get to 12, then you're going to have slot 0, 1 all the way to slot slot 12. And then that's it. Then you close out your model config. Making sure that you have all this, so all your hidden selections for your texturing, your door 1 axis, door 2 axis, all the seed bases 1 through 12, but you want it in order as it shows up on your main lot. So colors, doors, and then in order. You don't want the proxies. You don't need the proxies in there, but you do need the seed base. So I see how I have it 1, 10, 11, 12, 1, 10, 11, 12. So you want it as they show up in the P3D, and then slot, and then soil. Now soil is just the texture on the plot. You just want to select the top, make sure you have a texture, a dirt texture, and it's just the top of the base of the plot, garden plots, and it's got the hidden selection of soil. And then that's it for your main LUD. So you're gonna bring in your proxies. So once you have all those slots set up, what I would start with first is just your textures and your doors. Once you get that done, bring in proxies. So I use tomato seeds from vanilla. So you're gonna bring in one at a time. So you're gonna import a proxy. You're gonna line it up to where you want it on the model. So in this model, it's gonna grow 2 plants in each plot. So 1 on each end. So you got 1 in. Now while you have that in, you're gonna right click. While that one proxy is selected, click on new seed base underscore 01, and then hit enter, and then that's it. And then when you click on it, you'll see the proxy still selected, and then that's it. So seed base 1, and you're gonna do that for each one. So then import another proxy, click on the second one, seed base 2, and so on until you get all the way to what you want. So seed base 1, seed base 2, seed base 3, and then each one. So each proxy needs to be tied in with its own seed base. So I got seed base 1, and it goes in order. So seed base 10, because it's alphabetical. So you want to make sure each of these seed base selections are tied into its own proxy. You don't want them to be tied into multiple. So make sure I go through and click on one at a time and make sure they are tied in to its own proxy. And make sure the proxies are the only thing that lights up. Just like that. And then that's it. Once you get all that, you're going to go in to your geometry, which is just like the house tutorial. Everything's the same there. Just get solid boxes around everything. Same way we did the house. And then you're going to select it all and get the components through structure, topology, find components. Then you're going to add door 1 selection and door 2. So that way the geometry animates with your doors. So when your doors open, so won't the geometry. It'll open with the door, and you'll be able to walk in, and you won't get stuck. Now, you're going to need 2 properties. In all geometry LUDs, you always use auto center value 0. You're also going to need damage value no. And then that's your geometry LUD. Now we're going to add to the memory. We already did the points for the doors. So now we're going to add points for each seed base, or each proxy. So what you can do, what I did, I'm just going to create real quick this empty slot here to show you what I did. So what I did is I pulled in the proxies from my main LOD, copied it, pasted it into my memory. Once I did that, I went up to the see this little spot underneath surfaces, select vertices. It's got the 3 dots, one red in the middle. And I grabbed just the ends. I'm holding left control, by the way, and I'm selecting just the points, leaving this section that's touching the plots. And then I'm hitting delete. And then boom. Now you have the slots for your proxies in your memory, and they line up just with your main LOD. Now, once you have those in position, then you're gonna also see that seed base is with it. So the seed bases that we did, they're all with it in your memory LOD. They will come in automatically when you pull in your proxies. So then you're going to go through, and this is the tedious part. You're going to add the slots, but these are in your memory. So go through, and so click on the first, your first proxy, create, new, call it slot _01, and then hit enter, and then do the same. So click on the second one now, go in order, slot 02, enter. And then, so that way when you click on, say, slot, what I just did, 01, it'll click on that, your first one, and then you go down in order, and you just keep adding it until you get all the way to the same amount of proxies. So I got slot 12 all the way up to slot 12, and then you got all the way up to seed base 12, and you got 12 proxies. So that's what you want. So each of those proxies need to be tied into that. And then once you get your memory, that's your memory LOD. Then you're going to do roadway. Now roadway is same with the house. It's just the surfaces. So what you can do, create plane. Hit OK. Now it'll create a little square. Now you can rotate it by holding left control and right click on your mouse. And then you get it in position. Say the roof. Get it stretched out. You want it in position. And then just get it worked around until you have it around your roof, your floor, and the tops of the garden plots. And then it should look like in Bulldozer this. Once you have that all lined up, you're going to take, so this is the roof. I'm selecting just the roof. I'm hitting E, and I gave it surfaces, surface PAA. So what you want to do, so it's exterior, hit the folder, go to P, DayZ, go down to surfaces, data, roadway, change TGA to PAC and PAA, and look for something serious. Now, just pick something because I'm not seeing anything glass wise, so I just picked anything, and you could do ceramic or I don't know, metal, whatever. And then it's exterior, so click the EXT version. So ceramic tiles, then EXT, whatever. And then apply it. And then you're going to do the floor. I did wood. And I'd put wood also as the plot. So same thing. Select just the floor. Go into the P drive, DayZ, surfaces, data, roadway, and then look for wood. I did interior on the inside of the floor. So INT, wood planks INT. And then apply. And that's setting up your roadway. Now, view geometry will be the same thing as your geometry. So you're going to have your geometry. So copy the geometry, paste it inside view geometry. Then you're going to go in and get the proxies, the slots, and the seed bases. Same that's in your memory and what's in your main. So now you need the full proxies. So what you would do is the same thing you did with your memory LOD. So you're doing your main LOD. Just copy over your proxies, all 12, by selecting just your proxies. Copy them, paste them inside here. Then it'll automatically bring in all 12 proxies and your seed bases from your main LOD. And then you're just going to add, now, slot is going to be different now. Your slots, what you're going to do is you're going to create a little box around each slot, each proxy. So you see how I have these little tiny boxes and they're around each proxy. So obviously this is the first proxy, so it's seed base 1. So you're going to create a little box, same, just go to create box. And then line it up, smaller, make it smaller. Get it in position around that proxy. You can shrink it down by selecting the vertices and get it one size. And then get it around that one proxy. So the first proxy, and then I'm going to call that slot 01. So new slot 01. But I'm not going to name it because I already have it. And you didn't do that for each one. So each proxy. So you're going to make 12 boxes. And you're going to go in order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. When you're done, just go through them and make sure they match. So click on 1, 2, 3, and make sure they're going in the correct order. Just like that. And this is in your view geometry LOD. Now your fire geo is going to be the same thing as your main geometry, minus the slots, just seed base and the proxies, and your main components and the doors. So same thing as geometry, but added the proxies and the seed base. So, and then you're going to go through. Now, in your fire geometry, once you get those set up, your property name is, you're just going to have damage value no. Then you're going to go through your main model, your components, and apply your RV mats for penetration. So you're going to select just the glass exterior, maybe just get the exterior. Anything that's going to be glass. So get the exterior, hit E. Now under material, open the folder. P, drive, DayZ, data, penetration, look for glass, boom, and then apply it. And then the planters boxes, select just the boxes same thing. E, look for the penetration, give it like wood or something. And then that's it. Apply it, done. And then that is your fire geometry. So that is all the lods. And then you're going to make your res lods. You don't have to, but my house tutorial, I do show how to make res lods. So go watch the house tutorial and you'll see that section. It's time stamped, so you can go straight to res lods. And that's it for the P3D. So, like I said, I know it's a little overwhelming to follow along with a tutorial. So, again, like all my tutorials, the raw folder from this video will be linked in the description. So you can download it, work from it, use it as a reference, copy, paste, whatever you want with it. But that's it for the P3D. So save it, exit. Make sure your model config is all done. Now make sure you look at my model config when you do yours. You can actually just copy my model config and put it in with yours and just change the class name and your selections names if you went with like ZBTech or whatever. So you can make it easier that way and just use this model config in yours. And it just gives you an example of what you need and what yours should look like. Now we go in with the kit. It's a basic P3D. It's actually the same kit from my container tutorial, that with a kit base. Basic P3D, you add your texture, your hidden selections, geometry bots, auto center. Your memory points, it's just bounded bots, min mats, CE center, in view, your view geometry, and your fire geometry. Nothing special in this, just basic. Save and exit. Model config for this, basic. It's just an item. Doesn't need to do anything special, so just a basic model config. Now, you got your greenhouse, your kit all configured. Bring up your config, or make your config, or you can copy from this and just rename. So we got our CFG patches, which are class name, sample greenhouse. In units, I have the greenhouse and the greenhouse kit class names. Required add-ons, I'm going with DayZ data, DayZ scripts, DayZ deer cultivation, because we're doing garden and stuff, DayZ deer containers, DayZ deer consumables, DayZ deer tools, and DayZ deer camping to be safe. After that, we got our CFG mods, which is the exact folder name. So whatever your folder name is in your P drive, that is what you want under the class directory name and world script module for forWorld. Now, this is a basic config for an item. This is for your kit. So that's all it is. It's just, I've shown this config already on my container, but so you got your config for your kit. Now your greenhouse. You're going to have, the base class is going to be garden plot polytunnel. So that is your base class. Then you got your class name. Now you got your display name, path to your model. Now your attachments, you're going to have seed base 1 all the way to seed base 12. Physical layer, item large. Then you got your GUI inventory attachments. I just gave class fill-in. Seed base attachment slots 1 through 12, same as your attachments. And then icon is set to DayZ inventory, cat GP fill-in. You could just copy and paste this into your config or whatever you want. Hidden selections, you're going to have your seed base 1 through 12. So pretty much the same as your attachments. Now you got your animation sources for your door. both doors, slot visible, and then slot hidden with a base class of slot visible. All 12 of your seed bases with the base class of slot visible, and then your damage system. Just your normal average damage system. And that's it for your config. And you save that. Now, you're going to want some scripts. So what we're going to do first is, for the actual item, so we have the greenhouse itself. It's the same pretty much as my containers, the openable container that I did. The only thing that's different is the base class, for one, is garden base. Instead of container base, we have garden base. Now we have everything else is the same from that for like our openable timers and behavior. The only thing we're adding, set base fertility is one thing. And that's, I got by default just set to 0.4. So that's your fertility. Now everything else is the same for like openable containers. So this is for like all the open close stuff. This is for the sound for your door open and close. So what I did is I just created void sound greenhouse open play, and I gave it a sound set of just the like the fence sound set. So the door wood vanilla sound set for the fence doors. And then sound greenhouse close play with the same sound set. Now we're going to take those class names. So we got the top one, which is open play. Under this section, on variable synchronized for the sounds, play sound. So for is open, we have that class, that name. So the open. So you're going to copy that, paste it here. And then you got your closed one, and that's for the second one. So that way, that will give you your sound. Now you can make whatever sound set you want for the actual sound set. Now, you got your, it's pretty much everything. Update visual state, you got your door selections. So it's open 1, you got door 1. Animation phase 0, door 1. Door 2, 1. Pretty much the same as everything else. The only other difference, other than, the top, is once you get down here, you're going to have get garden slot count 12. Refresh slots, seed base 1 through 12. And then your set actions, open, close, which I'm going to show you those two scripts next. Place. So everything else is the same as a container. The only difference is these refresh slots, garden slot count, and then at the top, your base class is garden base and set base fertility. Other than that, everything else is your basic script for the containers. Now, we save that, and we exit it. Now, your kit script. Now, I've shown this before. This is from my kit with the container tutorial. So it's pretty much just deployable container-based script with your class name for your kit. And it's going to be get deployed class name, your greenhouse class name, and then you're going to have your, see when I double click sample greenhouse, you'll see I also have it right here. So you're just going to put, pretty much you can leave this as is and just change the top class name to your class name's kit and change this, all three of these that showing the sample greenhouse. Anything that says sample greenhouse, just change it to your greenhouse kit. And then that's it. You can leave the rest the same, but this is all just positioning when you deploy it. Is deployable. That's pretty much all it does. It's telling what to deploy, so it's telling the kit to turn into the greenhouse, the position, blah blah blah. So that's your kit script. So you got your greenhouse script, your kit script done. Now we're gonna get our actions. So action open and action close. I got SGH sample greenhouse. Now all this is not bad. It's not a big script, so we'd have to open one first. So action open sample greenhouse, create your class name, and then this is pretty much telling when you put the cursor on. This is the text, so open. This here action condition is pretty much telling where the action is going to be when you put your cursor on your greenhouse. So you give it the action selection that you have in your model, in your P3D. You gave your doors door 1 or door 2, and then door name consists door, because it has door, and then there's door 1 and door 2. So we have door 1 is our selection, and then door 1 for the vector point, and then you're going to have your class name, where you see mine, sample greenhouse. I'm on Notepad++, so if you double click one, it'll highlight all the same exact class names. So you just highlight the first one, which the first sample greenhouse is under here, under the action conditions. Target object is item base sample greenhouse. Double click it, go to search, replace with, and put your class name for your greenhouse, and then hit replace all, and you'll see that it just replaced all of them. So if I hit your class, double click, you'll see it replaced all of them to what you need. So again, this is for the open script, and you have your text. You got it set to your selection on your model. So yeah, I know it has 2 doors on mine, door 1 and door 2, but it's okay if you just use door 1, as long as it's something that's on your model where you want the hit marker to be for the action when you're in game. So that's that. It's going to be the same process with the close script. So create your class name, void your class name, and do your class names for your greenhouse. And it's going to be the same selection. Same thing. Except for the text, it's close. And it's telling the thing to close instead of open. But it's the same process. We've gone through this stuff before. So that's your action scripts. Now you're going to get modern action constructor to register those new actions. So you're going to have 2 of these set. Action open and close strips are going to be there. So that way when you go back to your script now for your greenhouse, and at the bottom where you have add actions, set actions, it's going to be these 2 here. So you're going to take these 2 from your modded action constructor and put them on here so they match. So you'll see that I have action open SGH, action close SGH, and it's the same thing. Put action open SGH, action close SGH. So it's the same classes that's on your script. Same as that. That will be all your actions. And then the last scripting you'll need is your hologram for the kit and the greenhouse. So it's pretty much just class hologram. And you just double click where I have sample greenhouse kit. You'll see every spot that I have it. Click on the first one. Same with what we did before. Search, replace, put your kit's class name. So it'll be your kit class name, or your whatever your kit's class name is, and then replace all, and then it'll replace them all. And then that's it. And then you save that hologram script. And then recipes. Pack, sample, greenhouse. So you'll have your pack recipe. So just like any recipe, you got your class for top, pack, sample, greenhouse. Telling it the name. You got your ingredient one, which is your actual greenhouse class name. Destroy your ingredient. You're going to have that as true. Both these are going to be true. Ingredient sausages. Now, screwdriver or whatever tool you want to use to be able to pack it up. I use screwdriver for everything. You guys could use like crowbar or whatever class name. Now, if you want to have your screwdriver destroyed so you only get one use out of it, then hit this part here, ingredient destroy, turn that to true. So that way when you pack your greenhouse back into a kit, it'll destroy the screwdriver. If you don't want it to destroy, keep it at false. Then you'll be able to keep your screwdriver. And then the result, obviously, will be your kit class name. You don't have to really change anything else here. Just mainly got to change your class names to match yours, and that's it. And then save it. And then you're going to plug in to register your new recipe. And then that's that. And then that takes care of the scripts. So we covered the model. We covered the configs, the scripts. That's everything. And then you pack it up and you test it. Alright, so now that we're in game, we're going to spawn in our kit, sample greenhouse kit. You're also going to want to spawn in full cooking pots of water and seeds to test. So now we're going to place our greenhouse. There we go. You're going to make sure you can't walk through it. Just like that. Walk up. Now you see we have our hit marker right where I wanted it. So you hit open, got your sound, you come inside, and you'll see everything for the soil. So let's start planting. The seeds in your hands and start planting in your stuff. There we go. Get the water. Now we can see that the sticks, because I've just planted tomatoes, you can see that they're popping up now. And it's just started going through its process of growing. Which we're not going to wait the whole process. But you'll see that it is working. You just want to go through each one all the way. Now this one's running out of water. That's why I spawned in too. And you want to make sure every one of them works. Just like that. Now you see you have all 12 posts sticking out now, and then it's all gonna start growing now. And then that's pretty much it. And then you can close it, do whatever. That's it. Now, you can get creative, add proxies of like shovels and whatnot, and create the attachments so you can attach like shovels to it, or fertilizer, or whatever you want. You can get creative and do many things with it, but that's pretty much all there is to it. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and wait for these, because I didn't It's vanilla. I didn't mess with the growing, so it's gonna take a while for them to grow. So that's pretty much it. If it's empty, when it's empty, then something like this, you come inside, and you can pack it from the middle. But it's not considered empty because I have growing. I'll spawn another one and show you guys real quick. So let's do another kit. Place it. Open it. Grab our screwdriver. I'm in the middle, and you'll see, boom, pack. And then, boom, done. That's it. So, now I know this can get a little confusing, following along tutorials. That's why I'm gonna, like always, like I said this before, I'm gonna link the file. You'll have the complete file to work from. You can use it as a reference. You can copy paste from it. Hell, use it as is. Rename class names. Do it if you want. You do whatever you want with it. That's pretty much it. If you have questions, feel free to join my Discord. And if you need help with getting the geometries right or something else with this, just watch my house tutorial. It goes in more depth of the geometries. But if you need to go back and watch that, do it. But other than that, that's it. You got yourselves greenhouses now. If you have any questions, like I said, join my Discord. Link is in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.